here we are. Welcome to Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. I'm so happy that you're joining us today. I'm Ann Pearl, your host, and the producer of the show as well. But we've got a great lineup today. We've got Seal Mack. She's going to be talking about the bagel baker's daughter. Let me say that 3 times quickly. And then we're going to be talking with the Classic Theater Guild about their production, Miracle on 34th Street. We'll be talking with Max Sudduth about MySci and exactly what's going on at MySci over the holidays. Then we'll be talking with a representative from the Schenectady Civic Players, and they're doing a play as well, and we'll be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Annie over at the Circle Theater Players. I mean, there's so many great things coming up. And then to wrap up the show, if my guest does show up, he's not here right now, Frank DePalma will be talking about screen printing, so that's another segment as well. So we've got a really great lineup, and I'm so glad that you're here. And we're going to give a little plug to the 8-Step as well, because my DVD is not working for my break. So, phew, did I get everything in?
You always get everything in.
Seal Mack is with me, and bagel maker's daughter. I can't imagine to have a father that was not only an inventor, but he did so many other things. Tell me about this wonderful man.
He was born in 1919 in a little village of Hurleyville, New York, in southern Catskill Mountains in Sullivan County. His father was a baker from Russia.
Okay.
And
what did his father bake?
His
what
father,
kind of, was it breads?
It was pumpernickel,
okay,
rye bread,
good breads.
The good breads and bagels.
Okay.
And you know, in the Jewish tradition, we had honey cakes and babka, but it was raw.
Hamantasha?
Yeah, but actually my aunts were the masters of hamantasha.
Okay.
But my grandfather was truly a bread master, and he brought that with him from Russia, as many of the Eastern European Jewish bakers did.
Yeah.
My father went off to England during World War II, and the Red Cross had a program. They would match Jewish soldiers and airmen with people in and around England so that they could go to synagogue, they could have a meal.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing.
And it was during a meal with a family of Jewish bakers. One of the baker's sons said to my father, "You Yanks can do anything. When are you going to build a machine to make a bagel?" And that was 1943.
And that's when he got
and
the
that's
idea.
when it all started. He came back after the war, he tinkered, he worked, he had kids, he kept tinkering, he applied for a patent in the early 1960s.
And we've got a photo of, was that the patent photo? There's your photo of your dad. I love that photo. Where was that photo taken?
That photo was actually taken by High Times magazine. That's when he was running his cars on used vegetable oil. He was running that on hemp.
What a
and,
hemp.
And
oh,
hemp.
No wonder
and
we're
it
in
was
High Times.
High Times magazine.
So his car got very high. It didn't fly, but it could have.
Well, actually, he was a pilot too, and he did run some of his planes on vegetable oil as well. But margarine or fat coagulates at high altitudes.
Right, yeah.
So that was always a challenge.
Yeah. So I love that photo. And then there's an article that appeared on him as well.
He had articles, news articles, documentaries.
And this is his patent. That was his patent that was up.
That's his patent. Yes, that's the original drawing of his patent.
Well, you know, you talk about bagels, and I will just share this quick story with me. I moved to Kansas at one time for a short period of time, and I loved bagels. Well, in the East, we got bagels, right? No big deal. And I tried to find bagels in the Midwest. Now, this was in the early 60s, okay. So I'm trying to find bagels, and they're looking at me like, what's a bagel? You know, and it's like, oh my God, you don't know what bagels are, you're missing something. So I get a recipe book, and I find a recipe for bagels. You could have used them for hockey pucks. They turned out like rocks. I mean, there's got to be an art to making bagels.
There is an art to making bagels. My father...
Because you boil them first and then you bake them, is that right?
You form your bagel, and then you let them proof. You let them set up. Then they go into a kettle. And it's that boiling process that gives it that beautiful shine. Oh, yeah. You want a bagel to be chewy. If it tastes like white bread, run like heck, because that's not meant to be a bagel.
And I bought bagels, and I went to Kansas City, I think, and I bought a package of bagels, and they weren't bagels.
That's the reason the machine caught on.
Yeah.
Because once people had a chance, excuse me, to taste a bagel, there weren't enough mom and pop bakeries that could make them in the local.
Bagels, yeah.
And so the machine mechanized that hand rolling process. And nobody knew much about bagels back in the 60s and early 70s.
Well, they didn't in Kansas, I'll tell you that.
So he built them in the basement and loaded them in the back of the station wagon and peddled them all over Montreal, the South, Southwest, Australia. His machines went everywhere.
Is amazing that you've carried on. And the fact that he wrote music, is that right? Did he?
When he was in...
I mean, this man was incredible.
He saw problems. He was not an inventor who created something from nothing, like we see so many people today. People identified a problem, and he think about it, and he say, I can come up with something to fix that. And while he was in England, there was a family that took him in for a while, and they wrote music together, and that was the song "Here's to You" that was published. He worked on. He was very concerned about the environment. It was one of the reasons he wanted to use vegetable oil. Yeah. He thought if we could reduce
used vegetable oil. We're not talking about fresh. It's just stuff like you buy those for French fries or something.
Right. Used, greasy spoon diner kind of used oil, but he also believed we could grow our own. He said we have huge tracts of land. We could put people to work, corn, rapeseed, soybean. They're all great fuels, and it would be a way to reduce our dependency on fossil fuel and Middle Eastern fuel.
So he was really a front thinker, going right out there. Let's take a look. Can we get a shot of the bagels? The reason I want to do it is because I think we get a plug as to where you got them from.
People ask me all the time, where do you get the best bagel? And the truth of the matter is my grandpa Jake, at Washinsky Bakery a million years ago made the best bagels. But if you ask me where I get the best bagel sandwich, I get it from Gershon's. I moved here 40 years ago, and I call them up and I say, I need some bagels and cream cheese sandwiches, and they make me beautiful platters.
Yeah,
and
isn't that nice?
I
just want to give them a plug because they did send these over here, and we're going to be sharing them with, I don't know if we have a knife to cut them, but we need a knife maybe to cut them in half so people can try them. What a great thing. So what's your favorite bagel?
A plain bagel.
You just like the plain egg bagel, or just plain?
A plain bagel, not even an egg bagel, just a plain bagel. Okay. And I don't put a knife on a bagel. I take the bagel, I tear it apart, stick my thumb in the middle, spread it open, put a schmear of cream cheese, and call it a day.
I love the word schmear. We know what that means, right?
A schmear.
Well, when I make a bagel sandwich, I do have to slice it. And I understand that more people go to the emergency room from trying to cut bagels. No, this is true. I did read that. Because people try and hold it, and you can't do that. You got to do it like this, or else you're going to end up with a cut finger.
Or you get one of those great inventions.
You stick the drop it in. I have one of those. I have one of those. And it's a plastic thing. I should get one metal because the plastic seems to be cracking now. Put the bagel in, and then you slice it right down the side. But, you have to tear it at the end because it doesn't go all the way down. But I love a bagel sandwich. And I love toasted bagels. Oh my gosh, and I guess my favorite is a poppy seed. I do love poppy seeds on it. I don't know.
When my son Ian was a baby, my father used to give him bagels to teeth on. And that was
Wasn't that great?
It was wonderful.
Because you can teeth on it all day.
That's what he did, a good chewy bagel.
A good chewy bagel. Well, I don't think if you've never had a bagel, where have you been?
They're universal today.
Yeah, and the bagels to me are, I love them dipped in coffee too. Just tear it and just drop it in coffee. Oh God, it's so good.
Okay.
You can eat them any way you want, right?
Whatever makes
like Oreos and milk.
Right. Or biscotti.
Or biscotti, yeah. Well, I have to give the Italians a plug on that with biscotti. But Seal, thank you so much for coming and telling our audience about your fabulous father. Keep his image alive and keep his message with the environment. That's just a wonderful story that you have there.
I'll come back with the book someday.
You're going to write a book?
Maybe.
I hope you do.
I hope so too.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
Thank you for the bagels.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, very quick break, and get our next guests on here. And we'll be talking with our next guest, which we're going to, that's Mac Sutton. Come on, Mac. Good. Thanks.
Three, two, one, record.
Oh, sorry about my mistake, but you can tell it didn't print very well, so I was having trouble reading it. I think I knew it needed a new inkjet in there, but right now I have four great guests with me. I'm sorry, after that snafu with the microphone there. Donna Baxter is the director of, and you're going to be using that microphone, is the director of, and what made you choose this play for Christmas? I mean, you know, Miracle on 34th Street.
It's a classic.
I know, it's a
wonderful
wonderful play, yeah.
You know, when you grow up watching the show year after year with your family and being surprised at the end, even though you know how it's going to end.
I know,
but
the old
still
Kane
you're
there,
so
yeah.
happy for him, you know.
Yeah.
It's something that stays in your heart and your memory.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you did pick that play. And the exciting thing is that you're going to be in a new space as well.
Yes, the Abbey upstairs on the 3rd floor. And we're very excited because our show is premiering.
You're the
there.
first? You're the first?
Yes, and we're still working out the kinks with set and moving and stuff like that, you know, because it is new to us. But
yeah.
we are very, very pleased, and we're having a great time up there.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you to pass the microphone over to Shaylee here. Did I pronounce that right, Shaylee?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the play, and you're playing the young Susan Walker. What's your part?
Susan Walker.
Yeah, I know, but tell me, who is she?
She's a girl who at first doesn't believe in Santa Claus, but then Fred takes her to see him. And then
Okay.
later she starts believing and believing.
Yeah, and she's very, the part of your mom was played by Maureen O'Hara, and I believe that Natalie Wood, was it Natalie Wood?
Yep.
Natalie Wood.
Whoa, how's that for memory? Out of thin air, played the part. And it was, I know that in the movie, she was like, oh no, I don't believe any of this stuff, and the mother didn't. So it's kind of an interesting part for you. Is this your first play?
Second,
What was your first one?
I was with Miss Baxter, and we did The Princess That Had No Name.
The Princess That Had No Name. So you weren't Princess Buttercup or anything like that?
I was one of Aurora's fairies.
Oh, okay. So is she easy to work with?
Oh, very.
Yeah, good.
Very.
Okay, well, we're going to go back here and talk to Fred.
Yeah.
Hi, Phil. So tell me a little bit about your part.
I'm a lawyer.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I've got a case I'd like to discuss.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
I'm also Susan's babysitter.
Okay.
And
You lucky guy.
slash neighbor. And he has a huge crush on Doris. If you've ever watched the movie, you know.
Yes, we do know. And?
I also defend Santa Claus in court.
You know, that's I love that part of the movie. Just so great, isn't it?
Yes, we are thoroughly enjoying that court scene.
Yeah.
And I know you've been on the show so many times, so I know that your acting experience is wide and varied as well.
Yes. I was last here, I think, for Love's Labor's Lost.
Yeah. No, that was Shakespeare, wasn't it?
Yep.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. Okay, let's talk to Doris. How are you handling Fred here?
Oh, you know, he's a wild one. No, it's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this. This is actually my first community theater production in a while. I left this area for like the past 4 or 5 years.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to be back in this area.
Well,
doing
especially in the
something.
theater community. There are
Yeah.
so many plays, so many
Oh, yeah.
productions. And on this show, we have 3 of them. I mean, that's incredible. Sometimes they cluster up because
Right,
people
yeah.
are doing the show all at the same period of time.
Yeah.
So you say you did act before, right?
Yes,
What's
yeah.
your background? Are you a fine arts major?
So I was a musical theater major, actually.
Okay.
I just graduated in May, and then I moved back home to save up some money, and I'm moving to the city in February, actually.
So you're thinking of doing something on Broadway?
Yeah, I'm trying. That is the goal, yeah.
It's a big jump there, but
oh,
you know.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
We've been so fortunate in our community because so many of our young actors have gone to Broadway, so we're very fortunate for that. Donna, you got your microphone. We'll get you back on the air again. Can you tell me a little bit about when the play is going to be and how do people get tickets?
Tickets can be gotten online at proctors.org, and our dates are December 1st through the 10th, and we are having a Saturday matinee.
Oh, a Saturday matinee. That's unusual.
Yes. We're having 2 shows on Saturdays.
And no Sunday matinee?
No, we are having a Sunday.
You're doing Saturday
We're
and
doing 4 shows a weekend.
Are you guys ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're psyched. I can tell.
You know what? You got to do what you got to do
Yeah.
for theater. If you love it, you do it.
How many are in your cast?
22. 22. We have kids in the show, of course, standing in line to see Santa. We have a little elf musical, you know.
Oh, this is
little
exciting,
dancing
yeah.
and stuff. And yeah, we want to showcase the kids and their talents.
Okay, now since you're going to be the first theater production, or the first production actually, at the Addy, can you kind of give us an idea? How big is the audience there? How large is it? Is it pretty good size?
It holds 85.
Okay, so
85
it's a smaller
seats, and they are tiered.
Okay.
You know, so you're not floor level.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's been a problem in the past with
yes.
when you've been at the Fenimore, because at the Fenimore we're sitting there and it's like you're doing this, and then even though you're raised, it's hard to see, you know, that way. But this is perfect. Yeah.
We are just so excited.
Yeah, that is exciting.
So excited.
And Donna, do you act at all?
I have.
Okay, but not in this play, obviously.
No, not in this play.
Yeah.
Actually, the last time I really acted was Miss Lynch in Grease.
Oh, that's
with
such a great
Slock.
play. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that
So
was many.
you've been involved with a number of theater groups as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that.
Yes.
But it's really, I think the idea of the Classic Theater Guild, which pulls so many great plays. What other plays have you got coming up? Do you remember offhand?
Yes. Steve Seriano is
Oh, I
going
like Steve,
to,
yeah.
yes, he is going to direct Of Mice and Men.
That's a wonderful play.
I know,
Yeah,
and that'll
yeah.
be coming in the, you know, after.
The next one, yeah. And you've got a website. You can go to their website. You can get their tickets. I think you could get them. Can you get them through Proctor's, or is it basically?
Yeah, you can get them upstairs, or you can get them online.
Yeah, because it's really nice to have to get tickets ahead of time. And you know, if you have people coming in to visit you, you might want to just think about having bringing them to a play like this. Not only that, but this is like a great new venue.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Phil, what's your next play after this one?
Maybe a break. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You really you
Nothing
see?
planned yet.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you have to look to see what plays are coming up,
Yeah.
which just might be your part. Yeah, and you're leaving the area. First you're back, and then you're gone, and then you leave, and you come back.
Yeah.
Could we get you back here permanently? I think you'd be a great addition. No, I'm really happy to hear that you're going to reach out and trying to get onto Broadway and work with them, because I'm sure there's I mean, there's so many theaters there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how exciting that is. Yeah. Do you have a place to stay already?
So I'm actually going to be living in Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a place lined up with my best friend.
Oh, good. So
Yeah,
you're all
so
set.
it's
So you're going to be
exciting.
rooming. So that's great.
We are definitely going to miss her because not only can this lady act, but boy, she has a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, are you going to be
And
singing on the show?
I do
Yes.
sing in the show, yes.
These two have a duet, and these two have a duet.
So is this is a musical?
No, it's not. We just
We
threw-
just made it into a
We
musical.
made it one.
No.
This is called creative theater. Right?
It is. It is.
So
You know, it's Christmas, so we threw some Christmas songs in.
that's wonderful. Yeah. So if you get a chance, well, make it a point. Get tickets to go see Miracle on 34th Street. I mean, what else could you imagine but seeing Macy's and Gimbels fighting? Who's Gimbels anymore?
Well, actually, it's not Gimbels, it's Bloomingdale.
Oh, you're doing Bloomingdale's because Gimbels is
well,
gone.
that's in the script.
Yeah, okay, well, that's the way it is. You got to change it. Bloomingdale's paid a little bit to get down there, I think.
I'm sure.
You're watching Schenectady Today. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. And what can I say but break a leg, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good.
you.
Good. We're going to take a quick break. Can you give this to Glenn? Oh, I know. Oh, I can't. Can you just hold it? I'm sorry. It just.
Five, four, three, two, one, record.
And I apologize that our break tape didn't work today. I don't know what happened, but anyway. Max Sudduth, it's so good to see you
Nice
again.
to be back.
And I hope that we'll see you again more often or sometime or other. I know that you're in transition.
Well, I do retire at the end of the year.
Yeah,
But
we're
I'm sure
gonna-
you'll see me again somehow.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm going to miss this guy. Toys and Trains, and what else is going on at my side?
Well, lots of things are going on. The Toys and Trains is sort of our annual holiday tradition, and people love it.
I love
It's-
the trains,
It's a very big train set of antique model trains that run.
The Train Society? What is it?
The Upstate Train Club,
Yeah.
it was their set. They've donated it to MySci, and they come in and put it together for us as
Oh,
volunteers.
nice.
And some of them volunteer to run it. We have other people who volunteer. If you want to volunteer and be an engineer for 2 hours, you can come run our trains.
You get to wear the little hat?
Yeah, you can have the little hat and you can blow the whistle and everything. The train set itself is about 19 feet by about 27 feet. It's
good
enormous.
size, yeah.
But we've added to that this year Legos. And
I know. I can't wait to see this.
we have Lego. We have a lot of master Lego builders in the area, and we have Lego trains. We also have a Lego city that looks a lot. The buildings look a lot like Schenectady.
I can't wait to see it. How
So-
do you do that with Legos? Oh my
Well,
God.
the interesting thing was they put them all together in a day.
You told me that, and it just doesn't seem possible because this is not just a little city. This is like
Yes,
A big-
It's
big.
big. Yes.
so I'm going to be over there tomorrow to see it.
And then we also have the 125th anniversary history of GE exhibit.
I know that.
Which has interactives in it. We just added an interactive to it. One of GE's inventions is a autopilot for freight trains that runs freight trains.
Autopilot for freight train. Well, if you can do a car, you can certainly do a freight train.
It's a control system or a computer system that maximizes the train's performance, that sort of just drives it. It's a little easy. It's a little easier because you're on a track. You don't have
Yeah,
to
I was
worry
going
about.
to say, you have to worry
But
about.
it makes sure it gets the
those-
maximum fuel efficiency and it has the best safety and everything.
You still need an engineer, though, don't you?
You still need an engineer who can do overrides and stuff. But GE has a simulator for that to show you how it works. And we have GE volunteers who come in. We have the simulator at the museum, and you can come in and match yourself against the computer, and you can actually drive a freight train, and you can see on the screen where you're driving it. You can.
That's so cool.
So we've already had some kids who did their best to beat the computer. I don't know.
No, I don't know. But you know what? You might go over there and try and see if you can beat the computer, right?
So, but we also have holiday break classes. I know that once school's out, you'll have the kids at home, and we have these workshops, half-day workshops, that you can bring, you can enroll in, and if you want to stay, if you want to book one in the morning, the afternoon, they can stay the entire day, and we have a place for lunch and everything.
How cool.
So you don't want to miss out on the holiday workshops. And in addition to that, we have a seasonal planetarium show called The Season of Light.
This fly.
So the Season of Light is about holiday customs around the world, explaining their connection to the stars and what you see in the heavens.
Oh, that's interesting.
So-
Is this like for adults or children, or
It's for
is
everybody.
this for everybody?
It's a family show.
Okay.
And I think everybody will love it. And at the end of a season of light, we give a little live star demonstration so that people will know what the stars are like that night. So if you want to walk out your back door and it's clear, they'll tell you where to find the planets and where to find the stars.
And you have an astrophysicist at the Dudley, which is
Yes.
part of my side, that will explain a lot of that too. I'm sure if she's there.
And she does the first Monday of every month. She does something called Senior Science in the afternoon, and it's especially for senior citizens.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's on hot topics in science, and often it's about, are there life on other planets?
Oh, and then they've got that new asteroid that's a long one. I
Yes.
think, what is it, Ross 120 something or other, 123?
I can't remember the number.
I don't think they gave it a name,
So.
But it's if you haven't watched it in the news, it's not around. I mean, it's a long. It looks like a ship almost.
Yes, it does. So anyway, during the holiday season, people have a lot of extra time on their hands when they're off, and we're
Either that or they're tearing their hair out. You're either at one end of the spectrum or the other.
they just need to bring the family to my side. So if the grandkids are visiting, or the aunts and uncles and the nephews and nieces are visiting, just bring them to my side for a day, because there's lots of stuff to do and it's lots of fun.
Well, and I will say that the two grandkids that I have that are out in the Boston area, when they come here, they always say, "Can we go to the museum?" So I mean, think about that.
Right.
What they have there, and yet they still enjoy coming to the my side here.
And one of the neat things about my side is we're always changing what we
Exactly.
show. So during the holidays, we'll have the Toys and Trains exhibit. But then in February, we'll open up the Butterfly House.
Yeah, the butterfly.
And
Build that up.
In the summer, we have an exciting new exhibit coming on the brain, which is really interactive. But
You have the invention convention too, or whatever.
The best way to see my side is to buy a family membership, or if you're
Great Christmas gift, huh?
Yeah, or if you're a grandparent, you can buy a grandparent's membership. They'll let you bring your children and grandchildren.
How great!
So,
yeah.
and I should remind everybody, because we have lots of nonprofits come through the show. Today is Giving Tuesday.
I know that.
And if you have a chance to go online, you can go to myside.org and make a contribution.
Shameless plug, but let's just do it, because we need to support organizations. Many of our nonprofits are hurting because of the cuts, but on the other hand, these are the people that shore up our community and make our quality of life much better. When we talk about this, when you live in an area, you have to have things that enrich you. And of course, we talk about theaters, which do, and we have music, and we have so many things, but the Science Museum, the Innovation in Science, my side, is just so incredibly important. They have the Challenger Learning Center, the Dudley Observatory, they have the planetarium. There's so much that enriches our lives here. Did I say that okay?
I think that was fine. It was a great. We'll have to film you saying that.
But I really believe that,
Right.
that, because I just think that it's so important to shore up the nonprofits that are working so hard, and get a membership and support them, and go there often and enjoy the exhibitions as they come up. So yeah.
Well, we think we have something for everybody.
I think you do.
So.
Well, thank you, and have a happy holiday as well. And we'll be taking a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be learning about Annie. Oh, I love Annie. You like Annie?
Yes.
Oh, who doesn't? Stay tuned.
Five, four, three, two, one, record.
And here we are back again. Annie, oh my gosh. The sun will come out
Tomorrow.
But you won't see this tomorrow, because you have to wait until the 8th.
Yes,
the 8th.
that is
right?
correct.
The 8th of December to see Annie. So what's going on? What are you doing in it?
Guess, Miss Hannigan.
Don't you love that part?
Yes, I do.
I love Miss Hannigan. I mean, Carol Burnett did a great job on that, but Hannigan is just, she's so hateful.
Yeah,
You just gotta
and
hate
it's
her.
so fun. It is.
You get to overact a little bit.
Yes, I'll call it acting.
No, I don't think so. And then we have the co-director here.
Yes,
Tell me
hi.
about the play.
So
The musical.
I mean, Annie is, it's one of those classics that I think everybody has at least seen it maybe once in their life. They've done a lot of. They've revived it a couple times, like movie-wise. They did it in the '80s, and then again in the '90s, and then just a few years ago. So they've done it a couple times, but. It's based on the comic strip about little orphan Annie, and
That had no eyes. She never
Yes,
had any eyes. I
she
never
did
could
not
figure
have
that one
eyes.
out. Where were her eyes?
maybe a problem with the printing office. I'm not sure. But she goes to live with Daddy Warbucks for a few weeks, and he decides that he wants to adopt her, and there's a lot of different characters in this musical, and it's really it's a great holiday show because it takes place at Christmas time, so it gets you in the holiday spirit.
And
so.
where's the dog?
We do have a dog. We have Rita the Corgi, who is our dog, and she does an excellent job. So we do have a Sandy. So
Good, that's good.
We have been. This is a show that involves children and a dog. So
It's
it certainly has
amazing.
its challenges.
This has its challenges because you never know. They say never appear on the stage with children or a dog, and you guys.
We have both.
Are you Daddy Warbucks?
I am.
You are. Okay. Are you a nice guy?
Depends who you talk to.
Well, I just had a guy on that's an attorney, so you could probably no. That's
I'm
that was
definitely not a
another play.
billionaire, though.
Another play. I'm sorry. Daddy Warbucks is an interesting character because he wants to be stoic, and yet, what is this little girl coming into his life?
Well, I think if you know the story of Annie, Warbucks himself is an orphan. So I think there's a soft spot there to begin with, and there's also a little bit of the noblesse oblige, that feeling like he's kind of passing it down. He has something that somebody else doesn't have, and but
He's a rich man. He's a rich
very
man.
rich man.
Yeah.
But I think that he's been in a position of power and just grabbing money his whole life. That he doesn't understand the other side of it too well anymore. And then Annie comes along and softens him.
And he even thinks about adopting her, huh?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And
But Hannigan, did you get involved in this charade?
Yes, a little bit.
Who's playing the other two parts?
One would be me.
You're playing in it too?
You're
going to play
I stepped in
Lily.
for Lily. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my.
And Steve Keller,
He's playing
another great
Rooster.
actor, is playing
great
Rooster.
Okay.
Right.
Oh God, it's going to be a great show. And how many did you say were in the cast, or did you?
25 in the cast plus the dog.
Plus the dog.
So there are a lot of characters in Annie. We did have to, we have a lot of our cast are playing servants, but then they're playing someone in the NYC scene or Hooverville. So everybody has multiple costume changes. It's
Yeah,
quite
because
a-
it takes place in a number of settings,
Yep.
with the orphanage. I mean, how are you doing that? Because, I mean, your theater is not huge,
No,
but it is perfect. I think it's a perfect setting for a play.
We have these big triangles that actually spin. So on one side is the orphanage, the other side is like a street scene, and the third is Daddy Warbucks' house.
Okay.
So we.
You don't have to do a complete
No,
set
it's not.
change.
It's very
Minimal.
fast, and I think doing Annie in a smaller setting also offers, it's a little different than seeing it on Broadway or in a big theater like Proctor's because it's a more intimate setting. So.
Well, it's interesting that you say that about the Broadway show. I saw it on as a Broadway touring, and I brought my daughter because I said, "Oh, you've got to see this, honey." I brought her to see it, and in the middle of it, the set starts to fall down, and and she looks at me, and she says, "Is that supposed to happen?" I go, "I don't think so." And this was a professional production,
Yeah.
see? So it was like anything could happen, and
Stuff
just
always
expect it.
That won't happen.
No,
You don't have anything to fall down.
we don't, and we don't have enough room on stage for something to fall. So with 25 people in sets, so
You have the dog, and the dog, it seems to me, is only in a few scenes. Is that correct? Daddy Warbucks, and also in the street scene,
yeah.
right?
Sandy is in the street scene. Where the Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow, the #1 song from Annie. She sings that to the dog, and then
I like Hard Knock Life, actually.
and then Sandy comes back in Act 2. So
yeah. So that's cool. And then, of course, at the grand ending there.
Yeah.
So let's tell everybody where it is. Where's it going to be?
Sand Lake Center for the Arts.
Okay. That's in Averill Park.
Yes, it is. And we open December 8th and we run through the 17th.
So that's 2 or 3 weekends?
2 weekends.
2 weekends.
And we have a Thursday performance.
Okay.
If weekends are hard for some people, we do have a Thursday night performance and 2 Sunday matinees.
2 Sunday matinees, but no evening performances on Sunday.
No
just the
evening
matinees.
Performances on Sunday.
So how do they get tickets?
They can go to our website, which is, I believe, up on.
We do have it. It's Sand Lake. It's SLCA-CTP.
Yes, that is
.org.
correct.
Whoa! Did I get all in? Good. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, how long have you been acting?
Oh goodness, I think my first major production I ever did was 18. Was like a little mini touring production of Sweeney Todd.
Oh, Sweeney
and it
Todd.
was playing multiple characters.
Sondheim, that's a hard, isn't it Sondheim that does Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, that's a Sondheim. Yeah. That's one of his big ones.
That's difficult music, I think.
It was, but I had a lot of good mentors around me.
Yeah, that's great.
But it was definitely, for a young kid, it was definitely like, where do I go?
Yeah, what do I do? So, but you've been doing this a while then, you're enjoying it as well.
Yes.
And Claudia, about you, how long have you been acting?
The first show I ever did was Annie in 1996.
Get out!
Yes.
You played Annie?
I did not play Annie.
Oh.
I played Kate, so
Okay.
I was one of the other orphans, but I have done Annie. This will be my 4th time.
Doing Annie?
Yes. So.
Yeah, so you got the script down, Cole.
Yes, yes.
Pretty much. Unless they change it. And I know that you've been around a while.
Yeah, I've been around.
No, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a
actually,
good way.
I just realized that aside from high school production, I really just started back in 2001 doing.
Yeah. Isn't it fun?
Yeah, again. So it has been longer and.
Well, I mean, to me, theater is just so broadening. It allows you to learn to work with people and to have fun. I mean, it's tough, you know, because you want to do your very best, and sometimes it's challenging. And if you have a good director, they're going to bring you along and maybe make you a better actor. Who knows? At least for that production. Who knows? But we want to tell you, how do they get tickets? I'm sorry.
Online.
Online.
Yep.
This is the best way to get it. Okay, good. And it's at the Sand Lake Center for the Arts. The Sand Lake Center for the Arts is located in Averill Park. It's a former church. It's a wonderful setting. It's a black box theater. And it also has a great parking lot. I mean, it's so easy and right on the, it's so great. Because a lot of these places, it's hard to find a parking place. No trouble here. I want to thank you all for being here, and I guess I will say break a leg, you know.
Thank you.
Yes. Got to do that, right? We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be stepping up and talking to Christine Lafredo, and I guess Joe Fav is here as well. And we're going to be talking about their play called As Bees in Honey Drown. Let's find out what that's about. Stay tuned. I shed terrible.
2, 1, record.
And here we are back again. And with me, I have Christine Lafredo. Always a pleasure to have her on the show. She's such a great actress. Actor. I don't like to use actress. Isn't that terrible?
I don't care.
I do. I think it should be actor. We don't
Okay.
we don't go to the doctress, do we?
No, we do not.
So
I don't.
we go to the doctor.
I wouldn't go to one. Probably not.
Joe Fava is president of Schenectady Civic Players, and he's here also to talk about a different production. But we're going to start out with the primary one that's going to be running for a few weeks.
Friday.
It is, it starts, pretty soon, huh? Can't wait to see it. It's called As Bees and Honey Drown. And when I saw Christine, I said, so what's this about? You know, it's got an odd title, you know, how can bees drown in honey? I mean, that's what they make, you know.
That's right.
And you said it's about con?
It's about a con woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you the con woman?
I am.
Oh.
I am.
Typecasting.
My husband might think so. Give me that wallet.
No.
Anyway.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's about a young gal who came from West Reading, Pennsylvania with nothing, and she moves to New York City to, you know, become famous as a writer, and instead she is living with her roommate is a painter, and she decides to put on an art show with his work of art that really is, you know, nothing
mediocre.
at the time, very mediocre, and she sells it to the art world by creating herself after watching all of these old movies. She has no talent, nothing like that, but she goes back and watches all the old movies like Cabaret and Auntie Mame and Holly Golightly and Tiffany's, and she creates this persona. And they made a lot of money that night when they changed their Soho loft. They just pushed everything to one side, put a drop cloth over the top, and they sold his paintings because she called everyone and she spoke to them like this, and darling, I know you'll want to be there. It's fabulous.
And so, she's good. You're very good at doing this. Oh my God, your last play you did with Joe Fava.
I did.
Right.
We just finished.
You just finished it.
The 5th of July,
Yeah,
right?
the 5th of July. And she plays kind of a country western type
rock star.
Yeah, I mean, it was like she really carried that off.
It's a wonderful play. Yeah. She did a great job.
Yeah, it was a good play. Yeah. So I know that this is coming up, and we just mentioned it's going to be starting on the 1st of December, running through the 16th. You have
No, it's running through the 10th. Sorry.
Where do we get 16?
I don't know. It was on there, but
yeah,
it's
well,
not.
we got to change that. Yeah, the 10th. Maybe
go on to something else after that.
No, it may have been my typing.
That's
was.
We have 2 matinees
That's right.
on the Sundays.
Okay, good.
We have 2 matinees on Sunday at 2:30.
Okay.
The first Sunday, which is this Sunday coming up, and then a week from this Sunday is a matinee.
Which matinees are nice. And,
yeah, they're nice.
My big question.
I know what your question is.
What's my question?
I know your question.
Come on, what's my question?
Is the elevator ready?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to be ready for this weekend, but it will. I'm almost positive it'll be ready for next weekend. Okay. The floors are in. They're doing the staircase. The carpeting's going in tomorrow.
I know it is. I've been there. It's ready to go.
It's been kind of difficult to spend $1 million, but we've pretty much done it.
You pretty much handled it.
We
right?
do have the best, and I don't mean to say anything against any other theater, but we have the best plant in upstate New York. We really do.
You've been around long enough there. I mean, 90 years or so?
I've been there over 60 years.
Not
but
you, but
you know, it's a 90-year-old theater.
Yeah, that's right.
We are one of the 5 oldest operating theaters in the United States.
In the United States.
We have a fabulous facility. We have now 2, 3 big rehearsal rooms. We have the largest theater collection as far as costumes go in the state.
50,000 pieces.
All organized and all in rows.
Yes, they are organized. Oh my God, I can't believe what he did. It's like every box is labeled.
Well, I didn't do it alone. We had another.
In years.
It took us 3 years. A lady named Marcia Thomas and myself.
Yeah, well,
we
good for you
organized
guys.
the entire collection.
Yeah.
But we have a great theater, and we like to see people come to see it.
And you need money to run a theater, so you've got something coming up that might raise a
Well,
little?
we've been doing a lot of fundraisers.
And I love your mystery theaters.
Murder mysteries. They've been selling out. We're very thrilled about that, and we're going to be doing another one in April, and we'll probably be doing more of those. And also, I don't know if you can see this.
Well, we have a.
You have it on. Oh, good. You have it on. We're doing on December 15th.
Oh, they don't. Don't you have? Didn't it?
It's not correct.
December 15th. We're doing a production called Broads Who Belt.
Okay.
It's starring Benita Zahn and her group. They've been doing this up in Salem and different places around upstate New York.
Okay.
It's a fundraiser. It's hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, the show.
And you're going to be doing that in the theater?
We'll be doing that in the theater, yeah,
Okay,
our
great.
theater. And as I said, it is a fundraiser for our elevator. We've been doing these evening productions now. We've been doing more of them, and we're going to be doing more in the future. Christine's had a fundraiser.
Well, you've got a great theater. Why not use it?
And the other thing is, we never had air conditioning before, so now we're all air conditioned.
And your heating is good. I mean, it's
all
like,
brand new furnaces, all new infrastructure.
Yeah, I kind of miss those radiators. I used to back into
when
them.
They bang, 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 as we're going up into a very
It's amazing
moment,
what we've done. I mean, the group has really worked hard to get this together. We have quite a wonderful facility for people to work in, and we really welcome people to come in.
And you've done your entryway too.
The entryway has all been
lovely.
redone. It's about 90% done. We still have to do a few more things to that. You're really going to be amazed when you're going to. I know you'll come down and usher.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I love coming.
Which day are you going to be there?
Oh, I think on a Saturday.
Saturday. You'll be amazed when you see the new building. It'll be all open.
Yeah.
The carpet will be in. You'll be able to go in. Hopefully, the problem we're having now is that
you're going to have enough ushers because you got to cover.
Well,
the,
we do have to have ushers.
Yeah.
We're having a little problem. We have to make sure that the security system, the fire systems are all up and running.
Yeah.
Before
I understand.
Before we open the elevator. The elevator's there and it's running. It's just
everything is there. It just has to pass code.
It has to pass code, and we're in the process of trying to do that this
Certificate
week.
of occupancy, I think they call it.
But it looks wonderful.
Yeah.
The new entryway is all done. The glass doors are in. The floor, it's all been stamped.
And if you go there, that front door doesn't slam anymore.
Right. It's really
God, I used to hate that door slamming.
That was only $4,000.
Oh my! I couldn't believe it. I says, "What? $100 to get that thing changed?" He says $4,000. So
yeah, it's amazing what we've got.
And the other thing I want to mention too, for people who do come to the theater, this is the only theater that I know of that for when they have, I want to say the break, but for the intermission. They serve coffee.
Right. Yes, we have coffee, we have cookies. In fact, after I leave here, I go out to get those because I'm not only on the stage.
Let me just tell you a new plan we've got. We're going to be doing some readings in our green room, but we're going to do it as a cabaret. It's going to be called, I think, something like the Green Room Cabaret Room. The readings are going to be free, but we're going to have coffee and tea and cheesecake and cookies and all kinds.
That they can buy.
All kinds of things. It's going to be set with tables and everything. We're going to do like a cabaret setting. We're going to try.
But they can buy the stuff.
Yeah, they can buy things.
Because you got to raise some money.
Right, but the show is free.
Yeah.
So it'll be sometime in February. We're planning on it.
Well, we'll give that a big plug.
We want to do stuff that's a little edgy that people can stay afterwards and discuss and have a talk back with the cast.
Oh,
so
we're
working on that. Wham does that over in Massachusetts, and we thought, why not copy something like that? I mean, these are great people.
You know, it's what is it? The sincerest form of.
You're right. Yeah, and we're going to try new things in the theater. So, again, we welcome people to come in. If somebody wants to be in a murder mystery, call Christine.
Please call me.
Yeah, or if you want to be in the show, let us know. You want to be in the show?
I want to be in one.
Oh,
oh my gosh!
I
really?
do. I do. I want to be in one.
We could do that.
Fabulous.
We can do that.
I'm pretty good at acting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
I do it every week.
I know, and you know,
I'm just kidding.
When we first started, I just wanted to put a plug to you because I just think you are amazing. You should be not here, but out in the big screen because this woman does so much, and she really helps our theater. And she's always down there. She promotes us in anything we do. So
really, thank you.
Really
I love you
guys.
To
promote local theater.
Yeah, and I love theater in general.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Thank
so
you.
if you want to get tickets, how do they get tickets?
Well, they can call Proctor's.
Okay.
We work with Proctor's, or they can call our box office.
Can I get them at the show? In other words, at the last minute they want to get a couple tickets.
The thing is, we have a lot of seats, so we always have empty seats. So, and that's because of the size of the theater.
But it's not going to be that way once you get your elevator.
Well, I hope not, because we have people calling every day. Seriously. But you can walk right in and buy a ticket right at the box office. Yeah, or you can call and they'll reserve them for you. They'll call you back. If you have to change the ticket, it's very easy to change the ticket. We don't mind doing that.
Very personal.
We have a very easy system, and the guy who runs it is great. So Joel Katz is wonderful. So.
You're just so fortunate. We're so fortunate to have what we have in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I
Thank
know
you.
you're going to be really good. I think
so.
I just know that because
She'll be totally obnoxious through the entire show.
I love obnoxious actors. I mean, on stage. On stage.
Hopefully I fulfill that.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out about all those shirts that my crew is wearing, and we're going to find out how they get made. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1, 4.
Okay, and what are those machines? We just can you put that photo back up again? I just want to ask Frank De Palma what those machines are that you had up there. Well, maybe you can't bring it up. Oh, there they are. What are those? I'm looking at Frank De Palma owns screen printing and embroidery in Schenectady De Palma's. They did the shirts for the crew, and I says, you got to come on and talk about what you do. So what are these machines here?
That's actually our embroidery machine at the shop. That's a 6-headed embroidery machine.
So you can do 6 shirts at a time?
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And how do you just program it, or how do you do?
Yeah, you have a file digitized, what they call it. You end up with a logo, such as mine.
Okay.
It then gets run by the machine. And,
okay.
The machine does the actual embroidering part.
Now I noticed that when you get the shirts, you know, and they're embroidered, there's like white behind it. Why is that?
Yes, there's a backer behind the material, and it gives it the embroidery something basically as a stabilizer.
Rather than just the stretchy material.
Correct. Instead of, because thin material and heavy embroidery sometimes doesn't work out. So you want to make sure.
So let's see some of the other photos. I was going to ask you, what is screen printing? I mean, I hear that. Well, this is this is your showroom, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a brief shot of it.
Yeah.
A section of it. We screen printing is actually.
Is that it?
That's actually going into that. That's actually a laser to do plaques and trophies. Engraved plates, as well as gifts and things that can be lasered, leatherette gifts and things.
So you're saying that if somebody orders something like that, then you can actually type in what needs to be?
Yes.
I thought maybe there was a little guy back there doing this.
Well, the old days was rotary engraving. Now there's lasers that actually laser etch your lettering on that. So let's say it had the person's name, first place, such and such basketball tournament, for example. That'll go onto a plate or a plaque and. For events, gifts, corporate awards.
Yeah, because, you know, it's funny that we see these things, and that's why I thought it was important for Frank to come on, because I was fascinated, because I have no clue as to how all this work is done. And that's why I wanted you to come on and talk a little bit about what you do. Now, you do, so you basically do like shirts, right?
Yeah, screen printing, going back to what you said there, screen printing is
that's
actually...
where you just kind of...
You're screen printing literal ink onto a shirt.
Is that like the Gutenberg Bible where you just did that?
It's very similar. There's a screen, there's ink. The process has been the same a long time.
But it's not is it mechanical, or is that somebody doing it?
It is actually someone doing it at our shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you're manually printing that design through a screen onto the shirt and drying it under a certain temperature, and you have your product.
So you have to dry it?
Yeah, you do have to dry this ink.
Because it's ink?
Yes. It's not a typical paint that air dries.
Yeah.
It's heat-dried ink, so, and then it's on forever. You know.
Okay, let's talk about Frank a little bit. Now, Frank, how long have you been doing this? And tell me, was your dad, did he start this?
Yeah, my dad still works with me. He works doing embroidery.
I think I saw him in there, yeah.
And he started, I've been doing this 30 years, give or take. He's been doing this since 1977 when he started.
You're located over on Hamburg Street.
Yeah, we've been in different locations. We purchased that building in '02 and been there since. He started in '77 doing bowling shirts, believe it or not. He was into bowling big, and that was the...
Doing it in the basement, like?
It was, yeah, he was involved in with another gentleman, and actually got into being around the bowling industry. I had a pro shop, etc. There was a need for bowling shirts, and that kind of started things going. And screen printing in Schenectady at the time was limited. There was a couple, there was one bigger gentleman that actually helped them learn how to do it.
So this was in '77?
Yeah.
Back then.
Yep.
Okay.
And then ended up doing, obviously, next thing you know, schools, sporting events. An interesting story is Mike Tyson's first T-shirt.
Get out.
Which is a neat thing that
Did
I
he give it back
bring
to you
up.
so you can frame it?
Well, he was a young gentleman in 1986 who wasn't winning yet. And someone came in that my father knew and said, we're doing a promotion with a young kid who seems to be winning. Future heavyweight champ, and we still have the shirt.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Future heavyweight champ.
And it's amazing. So people go, I can't believe that. And it's just, you know, people were not too far.
He used to hang out in the Albany area.
Yeah, and Troy had a guy who was connected, and he was from Catskill, but there was a guy in Troy that was doing boxing related stuff. And it was one of the neat things we got to do at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure you meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, over the years, a lot of
You work with
nice
schools
people.
as well?
Yeah, big with schools, teams, and of course businesses who need.
Was this what you always wanted to do?
Well, you know, it's funny.
Or was this something that Dad did and you kind of fell into
yeah,
it? Or?
Well, I was going to college and I decided to work with him part-time, and I stayed with it.
Yeah.
Even after I graduated, I stayed with it and said, I think I like doing this, and, you know.
How difficult is it to be in business today?
Yeah, it's a good question because it's become more difficult. The old days, that they say the doors would swing open in a lot of mom and pop businesses. The internet.
And the reason I ask is because we find that more and more of the mom and pop businesses are closing. They can't stay with the competition, but yours is so personalized. It seems as though that would be people want to meet somebody and talk to them.
Luckily, that's true. We have a lot of good customers. They're loyal. They want to come in and see the product. They want to feel that jacket, see that shirt. The internet's affected everybody in this business as well.
Yeah.
Because there are people that can go online and, you know,
yeah.
You can kind of do what you got to do, and,
yeah.
And you might
but
find what you need.
But we just had last Saturday, Small Business Saturday. We've got to remember that when we talk about small businesses, these are the people that are hiring accountants, they're hiring people to do their electrical work. So it's not just them doing business, they're creating business within business.
Exactly.
And that's why we need to support small business, because without them, I mean, the big box stores, they got their own crews, they could care less about the local economy.
Yes.
Other than sucking money out of it.
Yeah, very well put. Because once the small mom and pop shops, whether it's a deli, we saw a hardware store locally, you know, closed recently. They're gone, you know, and you want to try to support as much as you can, especially when the price is better and there's service there, which is most of the time the case too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And they are competitive, so we kind of forget that because we've been told through advertising that the big boxes are always cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. But that isn't always true, and I think if you can support a small business, support them.
Yeah. The nice part of my industry is that the internet's actually higher priced than me, and I like to mention that because there's a big company who's talked about a lot. That being said, you're so much. It's a so much better idea to be able to go into the place, in my opinion.
Talk to the person.
Talk to the person.
And if there's a problem, you can figure it out, and you can
always reconcile the problem.
Yeah.
There's you're helping local, and of course, from what I'm seeing, the prices are lower than the internet company.
Yeah.
At this point, which is actually even another plus that. Well,
and I can't say enough about small business. Just don't go, Frank, because I have to kind of run through who's coming out next week if I can read it. I think my ink kind of started to go out on me. We're going to be talking about a new organization, or new place, Dance, Fire, and Fitness, that opened up in Niskayuna. And these are world-class ballroom dancers that opened that up, and I've met them, and they're very interesting people. We're going to talk about them, talk about small business. Downtown Schenectady Improvement is going to be talking about their some holiday events that are coming up. We have a filmmaker coming on, and he's written a book or done a film called Ice Eagles, and it has to do with Antarctica. So we're going to be speaking with him, and he's going to be showing part of his film. The Mendelssohn Club of Albany is going to be talking about their class and brass coming up. Proctor's Historical, again, we're going to find out a little bit more. And then for the first time, we're going to be having guests from Saratoga talking about Saratoga First Night that's coming up. So that's going to be very exciting to talk to them about that. And with them, she's bringing Matthew Boyce. If you know the Elvis tribute artist, Matthew Boyce is making a big name for himself. You like Elvis?
Oh yeah, I always did.
Yeah,
I always did.
I know. So getting back to Frank DePalma, I do want to wish you a happy holiday as well, and your dad.
You too, thank you.
And I mentioned that we had, our crew has the shirts that you made, and somebody asked, I think it was Jay, that says, do they make it in long sleeve? And I says, I don't know, you have to talk to him when he gets here.
Yeah,
so,
everything's available. That's
yeah,
nice.
And but we have a great businesses in our community, and I urge you all to support the small businesses that are here. There's there's plenty of advertising that goes out for the big businesses, but we really need to, and the ones that are branches and things. But please support them. And Frank, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Great. You've been watching Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. I'm Ann Perillo, host and producer of the show. Catch us on YouTube.